Hi sisters, it's Jake here, and I'm back with another video. Also subscribe, because if you haven't already, I'm going to get COVID-19 again. As you may know, I've had a fascination for stand-up comedians. I'm a big fan of stand-up in general. I love Amy Schumer and Chelsea Handler, people who talk about their genitalia ad nauseum for a crowd of middle-aged moms who don't find them funny because they just wanted a reason to leave the house and get away from their shithead kids. Today I'm going to be talking about a comedian named Jim Breuer. Jim Breuer is an American comedian. He's 55 years old and he's still at it. You know, I believe that there is a space for old-timey comedians in media. I mean, like Norm Macdonald was one of the greatest comedians of all time, and he was much older than that, still working. But here's the problem. When your whole thing is COVID jokes and liberal this, Kamala Harris that, I don't know if your career is going to last as long as some of the other people in your field. Something that I find interesting about Jim Breuer is he has like 300,000 followers on Instagram, but he posted yesterday and his video has 300 likes, which, you know, is obviously a good sign. If you're not in this like influencer engagement space, that is the greatest engagement rate that you can get. Jim Breuer started out on SNL and quickly rose to fame that way. He was only on there from 1995 to 1998, and then he did basically nothing until he was on Liv and Maddie in 2017 as a stand-up comedian. So obviously his career is going well. Let's check out some of this SNL stuff that he did. To some of my new audience here, you may not know this. I actually worked at SNL as a photographer, and it was one of the coolest experiences of my life. I feel like I can sort of judge what a good sketch is, and you know, let's just check it out. Oh, Dad. I wonder why this one didn't take off. There's Jim over here. Gotta love him. Oh, Jimmy boy.
I listen to Kenny Rogers, Roy Acuff, George Jones. That's the best music there is, boy.
Oh my God, I love him so much. I think that he is just a bright light in a city of darkness. I find this really funny to me because if you go to his website, his most recent stand-up special is called Somebody Had to Say It, which is what they said about Donald Trump when he was running. This guy's just so honest, and somebody had to say it. This guy's crazy. Oh boy. Silly in San Diego. He went from talking about like, listen, yes, it's controversial, but somebody had to say it, to literally like Elmo's stand-up set. Silly in San Diego. What the hell, man? Let's check out his merch. Breuer baseball shirt. That's cool. Somebody had to say it. Jim Breuer Eagle. Now, Jim Breuer is known for this idea of freedom to laugh, right? Yes, I am doing blackface on stage and someone, but you do have freedom to laugh. It's America. Let's see how well he's doing ticket-wise. All right, so this is a show that he's doing in Texas in actually 3 days. Awesome. So this is at like a 1,300 seat venue. Let's see. Okay, so he sold out first orchestra. What about the... Oh, Jim. Okay, what about the right side of the stage? Oh, Jim. Okay, what about the lower balcony? Oh, boy. What about upper balcony? Oh, they closed it off because he can't sell. Yikes. Well, at least he sold out the first orchestra. That's good. Jim, congratulations. Honestly, by looking at this ticket map right here, I would assume that this was like a Gus Johnson stand-up show. Holy shit. This guy sold about 100 tickets. You're losing money on this show, man. This whole left side of the auditorium is completely empty. Oh my God. I've heard of Jim Breuer in the past because he made national news for doing shows during the peak of COVID. You know, that virus that I just had that wiped me out for a while. It's okay. Thanks, Jim. Part of the reason why he can't sell tickets is because he refused to abide by vaccination guidelines when performing at venues. So nobody wanted to have him. Sorry, I take that back. Nobody wanted to have him in the first place, but now they really don't want to have him. I mean, look at this guy. This guy is so phenomenal. I just love that this guy looks like your dad's creepy friend. Like your dad's creepy friend that they go into the basement, what they call the man cave. You hear them moaning for at least 3 hours and you're like, what are they doing down there? They watching the football game? Oh, interesting. Good job, Jim. The reason why I wanted to talk about Jim Breuer is because his stand-up is some of the worst that I've ever seen in my entire life, and it brings me a lot of joy. Now, Jim Breuer has 214,000 subscribers and, you know, 37 million channel views. He's been around since 2008, but, you know, you click on his second channel and it's like, oh, shit. Oh, 4,000. Oh, boy. Been on SNL, man. What about your podcast? The Breuerverse. What a good name for a podcast. Yeah, I was just doing some work, listening to my favorite podcast. Oh, what's your favorite podcast? Yeah, it's called the Breuerverse. Oh, sorry. Bruniverse? That's even worse. Bruniverse? That's even worse. Let's listen to this for a second.
Jim Breuer. Jim Breuer.
Just the longest intro ever. Maybe that's one of the reasons why you don't have views, bucko.
What's happening, man?
This is a fun day for me. Today goes back to my childhood.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome, man. Get a microphone. Just get a microphone. What are you doing? This goes back to my childhood. I'm just watching a Zoom call of people who are all illiterate. Let's check out this set called Think Before You Get Rid of Your Donkey Cock. Now, this is on his new comedy special, which he couldn't sell to anyone, so he just put it on YouTube, which I think is really endearing. Like, you click on the comedy special and it's like, somebody had to say it. It's a good time to fast forward to, just shoving something in his ass. Good job, man.
Hand to God, I know a 14-year-old child, 14-year-old boy, his mom decided to change his gender.
His mom decided to change his gender? First off, don't think that's how it works. Jim Breuer thinks that that's all trans people. Also, I love hearing this guy's take on trans people. Like, this guy can talk about any fucking surgeries. This guy has the money to get rid of this fucking turkey neck.
Correct. Because he doesn't like his weenie.
Well, that's not.
Hand to God, true story. That's a 14-year-old child. Have you ever seen a 14-year-old boy? First of all, they're not even fully developed. They got long torsos. They got a big overbite with acne in the side of their head.
Hey, man, maybe that's just your kids. I don't think that's every 14-year-old boy. Yeah, they all look like I did when I was a kid. No, if they all looked like you did as a kid, then we would be f***ed. Okay, I don't really like the appropriation of my limp after surgery. Thank you very much.
Playing with a ball by himself. Always saying, my bad, my bad.
Who does he think that 14-year-old boys are? They just play with a ball by themselves? No, they're fucking sucking, man. They're fucking, I don't know, doing loop-de-loos and cartwheels. They're not playing with a ball by themselves. Just because your parents were absent doesn't mean that that's everybody.
My bad.
My bad?
Dad, I burnt down the shed by accident. My bad.
Imagine watching this and being like, oh, dad just talked about a 14-year-old boy. I'm 14 years old. Let's see what dad has to say about me.
Accident. My bad.
Oh, that's what my dad thinks that I am. That's good. I'm going to hate my life for the rest of my existence.
Can I cut my weenie off?
What? What's happening?
Let the children at least become adults before they can make a decision like that.
Yeah! Ooh. So true, man. All kids are f***ing losers.
And listen.
They don't know nothing.
That's what you're gonna do. I'm all for you, man. Knock yourself out. Knock yourself out. I will beg you, especially if you're a boy, just think about every angle. You may think you want to be a female. When I was growing up, they were transvestites, and that's a lot of work. I have a lot of respect for a transvestite. I'm begging any child that's thinking about and injecting safe hormones.
I love his sound effects, to be honest. This guy really gets it, right? The way that you grow breasts on hormones is you shove them into your tits, and within seconds, they just go, you know? It's crazy. You go chop off the weenie, toss it over the shoulder like a continental soldier. Goodness gracious. If you were to chop off Jim Brewer's weenie, it would look like, you know those little hot dogs? Oh, yeah. Little Smokies. Jim Brewer's got a little smoky. You got a little smoky, Jim.
Just think of tiny little things like the first time you go to a concert outdoors and it's muddy out, you gotta piss in a porta potty. You might want to speak to females before you jump into that.
I'll have you know that any woman who I'm friends with knows how to piss themselves outside. Thank you very much. God, they're pissing, they're shitting, they're coming, they're vomiting. That's their whole thing, okay?
You know what I mean? I'm so glad I'm a female now. Oh, God. Sister, you don't want to come in. You don't want to go in there.
What? I don't even understand where he's going with this, but all I know is he just said sister.
sister, you know.
All right, James, let me check out another one of your stand-up bits, because here's the thing. I really appreciate Jim Breuer, okay? I love his work. I love what he does for the cause, and I'm curious to see what this one's going to be.
Life taught me the last 2 years is we don't know anything what's around the corner.
No, I do love that English right there. We don't know anything what's around the corner. Not that's around the corner. He makes me feel seen. I go, I don't know 2 + 2. Wait, there's a comedian for me, Jim Breuer. You know what I'm saying?
All plans you want, you get a bit of CEO, your jobs are shut down. We have no clue how quick life just goes bloop, which made me crazy how many people they would put on the screen and media are getting offended. Everyone's offended.
Everyone's
offended by this.
Everyone's offended these days.
I want to talk about this and I want to talk about that. And if you're that person, listen, man, life is offensive. Okay?
Life's offensive. I was waiting for the punchline and it delivered.
She's been battling cancer for 12 years. From food that she gets poisoned with that they feed us. That's a
I'm going to assume that she has a diagnosis, right? And I feel bad if your wife has cancer. The food that they feed us, what, the fucking government? Who's they? You've been rich your entire fucking career, man. Food that they feed us? You can eat whatever the fuck you want. So what's the point? Food that they feed us? No, you're just giving your wife the food.
offensive. We can't see the elderly because we may kill them, even though they got 6 days to live. We'll see you one day, Grandma. Stay behind the glass.
I feel much better with no human contact. Thank you, Dr. Fauci and CDC.
And fear. Thank you. I bet you she'd rather have that touch and hug and be dead tomorrow than do this in a restaurant.
Nobody wants to hug you, brother. Nobody wants to hug you. The way that you just did that, nobody wants to touch you. No shit. That's a fucking decision that you have to make as a family. If your grandmother has 6 days to live and it's the middle of a pandemic, you might think about risking it in just being around the grandmother. But if you don't want to kill your grandmother early and she doesn't have a death date, then I feel like this is a brick wall doing stand-up to me. I feel like I walked around a college campus and said, who here likes Andrew Tate? Give me one reason why he's good. Picked out a guy. It's almost like a reverse Steven Crowder situation where you just find the most stupid people on the planet and berate them with normal questions.
You don't get to pick and choose offensive. Last week,
Don't you?
2 Marines, hand to God, came to see me with their no knees, blown off, over in Afghanistan. Came in wheelchairs, followed me around. We laughed.
Now, what was that noise for? Also, no knees. Hey, man, really trying to call me out here. I've been in a wheelchair for a good majority of my life. Thank you very much. I know what this is like. Imagine. I'm offended that he's giving an example, such an extreme example of people in wheelchair with their legs blown off. My legs feel blown off, okay? And I'm trying to blow you off, Jim.
They told their story. To me, that's offensive. But there's people literally walking around. Here's the thing with being offended. Listen, if you're easily offended, do yourself a favor. It's not healthy. It's not healthy for you. It means your asshole's tight.
Jim, I don't know who you've been with in the past. I don't know if you've been hanging out with Shane Dawson, because Shane probably has that gaper from Uno's penetration. You know what I'm saying? It's a dog. Anyways, you don't want a tight asshole? When I shit, it looks like strands of hair, like little strands of hair. It's great. When you shit, it just sounds like you're dumping food into a toilet bowl.
And if science is your god, science will tell you that's not good for your physical being.
Why?
It means you're always scrunched up and your ass can't work right.
No, it does work right.
You just can't wait to go, I can't wait to talk about this subject with my facts and figures that I learned.
Interesting. I can't wait to talk about this subject with my facts and figures that I learned, which is where I'm going to stop, because Jim Breuer hates facts and figures. And that's the problem, right? We have a lot of people, seemingly over 214,000 people, just taking his word as fact when he's getting his facts from, I don't know, some guy on the street. All of the COVID deniers literally speak like people yelling on the side of the road about Y2K. Fauci this, your asshole's tight. At least in his YouTube bio, it says, thanks for hanging hammers. And I don't know what that means, but Jim, if you've got a hanging hammer, then I will eat my hat, because looking at you gives off the biggest small penis energy I've ever seen. I can't even call yours a penis. I can call it a little smoky. This guy's got a little smoky. A little tight thing. Anyways, thank you to all my members for supporting me. If you want to become a member, go on desktop and click the join button next to the subscribe button. I also just added an exclusive Discord. And check out my clothing brand and fun for people with chronic illness never stop. If you all enjoyed this video, then please leave a like, subscribe, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.